1995, the summer after my freshman year of college, and I find myself all alone in an airplane headed east to this brand new summer camp position in New York. Now at 19 years old, I'm excited. I'm this independent person, and I'm going the farthest I can from home to do something on my own. I'm going to be an out camp director, and I'm going to explore and hike and be able to create these innovative, wonderful lessons for campers, and also teach them 2 philosophies of Iowa: to always have a strong work ethic and to always be honest. Well, I'm greeted by Jan, the owner, at the camp, and she says, Tina May, oh my goodness, welcome to camp. I'm so excited to see you. You're our first out camp director from Iowa. Here's your packet, read it line by line, and here's your tent. You're going to need that all summer long. And oh, by the way, here's Greg and Dan. They've been working at the camp for years and years. They'll totally help you out. Ask all your questions of them. Don't call me unless it's an emergency. So, as I'm reading the flyer, the packet, line by line, my excitement slowly diminishes. This experience is a lot more primitive than I thought it was going to be. Out camp director, I'm not going to get to stay in a cabin with bathrooms and running water and a cafeteria where they prepare your food. No, I get to, for 3 months, make food over an open fire and have no toilets or showers and get to live in a tent with campers. Ooh. So I get introduced to the other camp directors, the counselors, and campers, and all of them are calling me Tina May because I'm from the farm. And they have this annoying curiosity. They think that living on the farm must be something like a Little House on the Prairie. So they ask me questions like, have you ever ridden in a taxi cab? Or does your horse and tractor take you everywhere? Now, you have an outhouse, and how does that work in the wintertime? And my favorite is pop a new drug. So I begin to question this idea of leaving my comforts of my Iowa farm and venturing on to the East Coast to this new out camp position when I've been working there for 6 weeks, and I've been faking it because I've never read anything about camping, nor have I ever gone camping before in my entire life. So I really begin to question it when Greg and Dan, the other 2 directors, decide to take the night off and drop me and 4 other campers off of this really desolate wooded area far from where we usually camp. It's very reminiscent to the setting of Friday the 13th. And so they drop off all their stuff, they jump back in their white VW van, 70 tunes a blasting, hands a waving, wheels spitting dust, while I'm stuck with 4 13-year-olds from Newark, New Jersey, a big bag of bad camping food, no restrooms, and 2 tents. And as any good camper knows, that's enough stuff for a crazy adventure. So we slowly but successfully set up our tents, and then we prepare a supper of the 3 very good kid food groups: chips, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and s'mores. And somehow that burnt marshmallow sandwiched between 2 crisp graham crackers along with a waxy piece of chocolate, that becomes an every meal ritual. 1 at the end of lunch, 1 at the end of supper, and even 1 for breakfast. And we also have this other ritual of always sitting around the campfire and singing these cheesy campfire songs like Boom Chicka Boom until it rings in your ears for hours. And as we're singing that song in the midst, just in bushes, just really close to our fire, I see some random movement. And I'm thinking, it's just the wind on this perfectly clear, calm night. And I don't believe in Sasquatches or Bigfoot, and that movement can't be the size of a squirrel, a rabbit, or even a raccoon. It's much, much bigger. And I can't ignore it because the campers are starting to say, Tina May, do you hear that? The shh. rustling. And my mind starts to wander. This is the first time for real. I do not want to be here, away from home. All that independence vanishes. I just want my mom. So the rustling gets louder, and the crunch by crunch, it's nearing me. My heart is pounding out of my chest. I'm having perspiration beating down my face, and my hands are clamming. I'm looking at them, they're looking at me. I'm looking at them, they're looking at me, like I can make the fear or the noise go away. And slowly, as if my whole life is flashing before me, out pops a black baby bear cub. And as any good camper knows, where there's a baby black cub, there's a mama, probably irritated. And so, without hesitation, I grab a pot and I yell to my campers. I say, bang on your pots and pans, now! And like mighty warriors headed off to battle, we bang and create a cacophony of clatter. And fortunately, that clatter startles our little furry guest for the moment. And so, what little facts I do know about camping, I know that bears love to eat any kind of crumbs or food that humans leave on the ground. So, I tell my campers, let's quickly pick up all those stale bits of Cheetos and white Wonder Bread with rapid fire and put them in a bag and tie them to the highest part of the nearest tree, which, as any good camper knows, is only half of the solution. Now they're asking me, Tina May, do you think the bear cub is going to come back? And I'm an honest Iowan. I cannot lie. I don't know. So I ignore the question. I say, let's play I Spy, not a bear. Or let's tell some jokes. And as we're going through the motions, I get them to laugh a little bit, and my fearless boys head off to their tent for the night. And I take Cindy with me, the 13-year-old camper, into our tent, and we start to nestle down in our beds for the evening. They're not beds. They're really these really awful nylon blue flannel cheap sleeping bags from Walmart. And I remember, and I'm thinking, how can I lie on this thing when it's thick pea soup, super humid, all I can smell is off bug spray, but somehow I'm tired enough from the day that I start to drift off to sleep. But then I hear that shh rustling again. And I'm thinking, is this real or imagined? Am I just making all this crazy noise up in my head? I don't even want to be here anymore. Mom! Well, without hesitating, I yell to those campers, bang on your pots and pans, bang on your pots and pans. And we bang, and we bang, and we bang. And moments later, it's quiet. I don't hear the rustling anymore. But then it becomes eerily silent. And then I hear a scratching noise on the outside of my tent, making the hairs on my neck stand up. And in that moment, that little 13-year-old bone-skinny child has leaped out of her sleeping bag, landed on me, sticking to me like Velcro, shaking furiously, and her beady eyes looks at me, and she's squinting, and she's saying, Tina May, are we gonna die? Are we gonna make it? What are we gonna do? And again, I don't know. This is getting serious. So I can't lie. So I'm out camp director. I'm in charge of the safety of these campers. So I look at Cindy, I said, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna check what's out there. So I grab my flashlight, I turn that flashlight on, and I'm praying, God, please don't let Cheetos and peanut butter and jelly sandwich be my last meal. And I'm saying to myself, oh God, please just let it be a little bit of rustling grass, or maybe just like rustling trees and the breeze is picked up, or please God, have it just be a bush with something in it that's not the bear. And so I slowly unzip the tent, and I turn my head, and I start to smell foresty fur. And I feel the moisture of a cold nose. My eyes are popping out, and I have come nose to nose with Mama Bear. Literally, I'm touching her nose. Faster than Oprah can get herself on the cover of her own magazine. I zip that tent and I yell, bang on your pots and pans, bang on your pots and pans. And that's what we did for the rest of the night, without stopping. We live, but we don't sleep. At 7:50 sharp in the morning, I have those 4 campers line up, and I say, kids, that bear situation, it didn't happen. You're gonna lie. I tell you, you're gonna lie like you're over your mother's grave, and you're gonna lie like your life depends on it. You will not tell those other 2 directors, you will not tell the campers, and you will definitely not tell your parents. Because you're gonna learn when you get older, there's a really important word, and that is liability. So, at 8 a.m. sharp, those 2 other directors returned back to camp beaming from their night off, and they said, Tina May, how'd it go last night? And I whisper, fine, just fine. So we throw our gear into the van, and we start heading out of the entrance to our campsite. And there's this big sign right outside of that entrance that says, beware of bear country. Over 60 bears have been spotted in this area. Avoid this area. Oh. Now these 2 directors, they knew all along. They put us in harm's way, all in the name of fun and jokes. And while I wanted a summer free to be me and explore and do, I experienced a new first. Sheer, unadulterated terror. But more importantly, we made it. Now as this Iowa farm girl just craving, wishing that I could be accepted by these city folks, I still smile to this day when I think that the Iowa farm girl pulled one over on those 2 city boys. And even through flashes of anger, wanting to punch them right square in the nose would come over me. I'm much more independent now, a lot less naive, and I survived a night in bear country. And as any good camper knows, survival is the only thing that matters.